Harry and Meghan face backlash in Australia. Lies and hypocrisy revealed? A tour that sparked more questions than applause. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe before we dive in, because this story, it's packed with twists, tension, and just enough drama to keep you glued till the very end. Bright Australian sunshine, cheering crowds, cameras flashing, and yet, beneath all that polished public glamour, a storm quietly brews. When Prince Harry and Meghan Markle touched down in Australia in 2026, expectations were sky high. Supporters anticipated heartfelt speeches, meaningful charity work, and a fresh chapter in their global image. Critics? They were already watching closely, waiting for missteps. But what no one expected was how quickly the narrative would shift, from admiration to intense scrutiny. So what really happened on this tour? And why are people calling it the Misery Tour? Let's unpack it, because the deeper you go, the more complicated it gets. The Misery Tour label, where did it come from? Nicknames don't just appear out of nowhere. They stick because they resonate. The term Misery Tour began circulating online just days into Harry and Meghan's visit. Critics claimed the couple's tone felt inconsistent. On one hand, promoting causes like mental health and community empowerment, and on the other, revisiting grievances about their past royal experiences. For some, it felt like a contradiction. Was this a tour about uplifting others or revisiting personal struggles? Now, to be fair, talking about mental health often involves sharing personal experiences. That's part of what makes it powerful and relatable. But critics argued that the messaging felt less like healing and more like rehashing. Can you inspire people while still holding on to unresolved public narratives? Public reaction, support versus skepticism. Australia has historically had a warm relationship with the royal family. Harry, in particular, has long been seen as approachable and genuine. Meghan, too, brought a modern and global perspective that initially resonated with many. But during this tour, reactions were mixed. Supporters said the couple were authentic and unfiltered. They used their platform to address real issues. They showed vulnerability, which is rare in public figures. Critics argued the messaging felt repetitive. There was a disconnect between words and actions. Some moments came across as performative rather than genuine. And in today's social media-driven world, perception spreads fast. One viral clip can shape millions of opinions overnight. So the question becomes, was the backlash inevitable or avoidable? Let's address the elephant in the room, the word hypocrisy. It's a strong accusation, and one that's been thrown around a lot in discussions about this tour. Critics pointed to perceived contradictions, such as advocating for privacy while maintaining a high public profile, speaking against media intrusion while engaging in high-visibility events, promoting independence while still being linked to royal narratives. But here's the thing. Real life isn't always black and white. Public figures often walk a tightrope. You can value privacy and still have a public role. You can move forward and still reflect on your past. The real issue might not be hypocrisy, but expectation versus reality. People expect consistency, and when they sense even a slight mismatch, it becomes a talking point. So maybe the better question is, are we holding them to an impossible standard, or are they struggling to define their message clearly? No modern controversy is complete without the media playing a major role. Coverage of the Australia tour ranged from glowing praise to sharp criticism. Headlines leaned into drama. Social media amplified every moment, and suddenly, every gesture, every word, every pause became dissected. When narratives are shaped by selective clips or out-of-context quotes, the full picture can get lost. A thoughtful speech can be reduced to a single controversial line. A meaningful interaction can be overshadowed by one awkward moment. So how much of the backlash is organic, and how much is amplified? That's something worth thinking about. Harry and Meghan aren't just public figures. They're in the middle of a reinvention. Stepping away from royal duties was never going to be simple. It meant redefining their roles, their message, and their identity on a global stage. And reinvention? It's messy. Sometimes the message isn't perfectly clear. Sometimes the audience doesn't immediately connect. Sometimes you're still figuring things out while the whole world watches. Sound familiar? It's like trying to start a new chapter in your life, but everyone keeps judging you based on the previous one. So maybe the tension we're seeing isn't just about the tour, it's about the transition. Which leads to another question. Are we witnessing failure or just growing pains? So here we are, at the end of a story that still feels unfinished. Was the backlash justified? Were the criticisms fair or exaggerated? Is this a case of misunderstanding or something deeper? There's no single answer, and that's what makes it so compelling. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think the backlash was deserved or blown out of proportion? Have your say, because your perspective matters more than you think.